You think you know everything about King Kong? Think again. What if I told you that behind the iconic roars and giant battles, there were secrets so shocking they could have destroyed the entire production? From real-life animal cruelty to lost footage, and a film set haunted by a fire, this movie was more dangerous than you ever imagined. We've got 20 weird facts that you've never heard before. Stick with us because at the end of this video, we've got a bonus fact that will blow your mind. Stay tuned. Fact 1. The real beast on set. While King Kong is famous for its groundbreaking special effects, the production also involved real animals. A live gorilla was used in some scenes to create Kong's raw power. However, working with wild animals was dangerous. The gorilla often acted unpredictably, making filming a risky endeavor. The danger was so real that some cast members were injured during these scenes. This behind-the-scenes chaos made King Kong as dangerous as it was legendary. Fact 2. A set that almost burned down. One of the most chaotic incidents during King Kong's production was a massive fire on set. The pyrotechnics used for Kong's fight scenes set the jungle set ablaze. Flames quickly spread, and the crew was in a race against time to extinguish the fire before the entire set burned to the ground. Thankfully, the damage was contained, but it's a miracle the fire didn't ruin the film's production or delay its release. Fact 3. The mystery of the lost footage. Over the years, King Kong lost several pieces of footage that were thought to be irretrievably gone. Early fight scenes between Kong and other monsters were reportedly cut due to time constraints. However, some of this lost footage was later found, sparking renewed interest in the film. The mystery of what else might have been lost continues to captivate film historians to this day. It's hard not to wonder, what could have been? Fact 4. The unusual use of miniatures. The special effects for King Kong were groundbreaking, particularly the use of miniatures. For scenes like Kong's destruction of New York, filmmakers used incredibly detailed miniatures of buildings and environments. These small-scale models help create the illusion of a massive, destructive ape. The ingenuity behind using the same miniatures in multiple scenes, repurposing them creatively, made the film's effects both cost-effective and highly effective in conveying Kong's terror. Fact 5. The man behind the mask. Willis O'Brien, the man behind Kong's monstrous suit, was not just an effects artist, but a visionary. He crafted Kong's movements with such precision that audiences could believe a giant ape was alive on screen. O'Brien's work was a technical marvel, using stop-motion techniques to bring Kong's monstrous features to life. His groundbreaking efforts set the standard for monster movies, inspiring countless filmmakers and monster creations in the decades that followed. Fact 6. Kong's roar was a symphony of sounds. The iconic roar of Kong was not a simple animal sound. The filmmakers used a combination of animal noises to create the terrifying roar we know today. Lions, tigers, and even the sound of a deflating balloon were used and mixed together to give Kong his signature growl. The painstaking effort to craft this terrifying sound took hours of work, but it paid off as Kong's roar became one of cinema's most recognizable sounds. Fact 7. The crew's real fear of heights. Filming the scenes where Kong climbs the Empire State Building was no small feat. The special effects team had to create a sense of vertigo, making Kong's height feel real. However, many crew members had a genuine fear of heights. This added to the tension on set, as some actors and crew members reported feeling dizzy or anxious while working with forced perspective shots. The illusion of height made the scene even more terrifying. Fact 8. The tragic fate of Kong's skeleton. After the film's release, the giant skeleton of Kong, which had been so painstakingly crafted for the final scenes, was destroyed. The materials used to create it were considered too costly to keep. The skeleton was dismantled and discarded after filming. It's a tragic irony that the monster that symbolized death on screen was, in the end, tossed aside, lost to history. Today, all that remains are the memories of its monumental creation. Fact 9. The film that almost got banned. When King Kong was first released, it faced intense scrutiny from critics and authorities who deemed its violence too extreme for audiences. The scenes of Kong's brutal treatment of Ann Darrow were particularly controversial. Many feared that the film would be banned or heavily censored in certain regions. Some theaters had to tone down the film or even issue disclaimers to audiences. Despite the backlash, King Kong proved too powerful to be suppressed. Fact 10. The iconic Kong suit was heavy. The suit used for Kong's movements was incredibly heavy, often weighing over 100 pounds. Actor and special effects artist Willis O'Brien had to work with this cumbersome suit during filming. This added a physical challenge to the production, with the actor portraying Kong experiencing fatigue from the weight. The suit was essential to creating the illusion of Kong's massive size, but it was also a burden that made the performance even more impressive. Fact 11. The crew's health risks on set filming. King Kong posed many health risks to the crew. With fire hazards, real animals on set, and unstable weather conditions, there were plenty of dangers to go around. Some crew members even developed health issues from working in the humid, oppressive environments of the set. Despite these risks, the crew pushed on, delivering what would become one of the most iconic films of all time. The price they paid was often their safety and well-being. Fact 12. The Empire State Building model was reused. The miniature Empire State Building used in King Kong wasn't just used once and discarded. In fact, it was reused for several other movies in the years that followed. The model became a key piece of Hollywood's prop department, appearing in multiple films before it was finally retired. It's amazing to think that the very building Kong climbs in the movie had such a rich history of its own in Hollywood's world of miniature filmmaking. Fact 13. Kong was inspired by real-life gorillas. Although King Kong is a fictional creature, the character was heavily inspired by real-life gorillas. In fact, filmmakers studied gorillas and other primates to understand their movements, posture, and behavior. The result was an animal that, while exaggerated in size, moved and reacted like a real ape. This attention to detail gave Kong an authenticity that made him even more terrifying and believable, adding a layer of realism to the fantastical elements of the film. Fact 14. The emotional toll on actress Fay Wray. Fay Wray, the actress who portrayed Ann Darrow, faced emotional and physical challenges during filming. Many of her scenes, especially those with Kong, involved intense fear and distress, which were real responses to the terrifying situations she found herself in. Wray later confessed that her experiences on set were emotionally draining, and the constant fear for her character's life took a toll. She became forever associated with the character of Ann Darrow, whose fate was in Kong's monstrous hands. Fact 15. The sound of Kong's footsteps was created with a car. The sound of Kong's massive footsteps as he stomps through New York City was not created with a gigantic machine, as you might think. Instead, the filmmakers used a car to produce the iconic thuds. The sound of a car rolling over gravel and large debris was amplified and enhanced to create the massive weight of Kong's steps. It's incredible how everyday sounds were creatively manipulated to add the feeling of Kong's imposing presence. Fact 16. The famous Skull Island was a set. Creation Skull Island, where Kong is discovered, was not an actual location. The island's landscapes, jungles, and terrifying creatures were all part of an elaborate set. This was one of the most ambitious sets ever created, with intricate backdrops, dense foliage, and massive rock formations. The sheer scale of the set made it feel like a real, uncharted island, allowing audiences to suspend their disbelief and truly believe in Kong's dangerous home. Fact 17. Kong's movements were a blend of stop-motion and realistic models. While stop-motion animation was the primary technique used to animate Kong, some of his movements were based on realistic models of animals. The team would use real-life reference footage of gorillas to capture Kong's gestures, ensuring that the character's movement felt both monstrous and believable. By blending stop-motion with real animal models, the filmmakers brought Kong's movements to life in a way that had never been seen before in film history. Fact 18. The influence of German Expressionism. The visual style of King Kong was heavily influenced by German Expressionism, a cinematic movement known for its dramatic use of light and shadow. Directors and cinematographers on the film used these techniques to create a moody, eerie atmosphere, particularly in the jungle scenes. The exaggerated lighting and distorted landscapes helped convey the sense that the world Kong inhabited was unnatural and dangerous. It was an artistic choice that set King Kong apart from other monster movies of its time. Fact 19. The film's impact on horror cinema. King Kong didn't just revolutionize the monster movie genre. It had a lasting impact on horror films as a whole. The idea of a single, powerful creature threatening human lives became a staple in the horror genre. Filmmakers took inspiration from Kong's combination of beauty and terror, paving the way for future creatures like Godzilla, the Jaws shark, and countless other beasts that would strike fear into audiences' hearts for generations. Fact 20. A film that changed special effects forever. Before King Kong, special effects were considered crude and primitive. The film's incredible use of stop-motion animation and groundbreaking visual techniques helped elevate the entire special effects industry. It was a turning point for film technology, showcasing what could be achieved with creativity and a relentless drive to push the boundaries of cinema. King Kong set a new standard that filmmakers would follow for decades, solidifying its place as one of the most influential films in history. Bonus fact: the unbelievable number of models used for Kong's scenes. Here's your bonus fact. King Kong didn't rely on just one model to portray the giant ape. In fact, multiple versions of Kong were created for different scenes, each designed to perform specific actions. There were models for Kong climbing, fighting, and even for his facial expressions. Some were made of metal, others of rubber. The sheer number of models used is staggering, and it's a testament to how much effort went into creating Kong's unforgettable presence.